Good morning. Thank you very much, Anilji, Mathu Saab, Gautam Saab, to share the dais with all of you and all of the audience here. I think you are the most important people in any organization. You should give yourself a pat about it because you built the culture, the team, and everything. So Anilji asked me to share a little bit of what we do here. With my 25 years of active business experience in edible oil, manufacturing plastic bottles for ourselves, tin for ourselves, and my journey in technology. So I started Data Infosys Limited, now known as Data Engineers Global Limited, as the first internet service provider way back in 1999 in Rajasthan. And that was the time when there was no Google, there was no mobile, there was no Wi-Fi, there was no broadband, and in fact, there was no manpower who knew how to run an internet business. This was first time happening in India. Imagine a scenario for a HR manager to hire a person for a business which never existed before. In fact, we never had an HR manager itself. It was a startup kind of thing in a new company. From that journey, I want to share some past and the future. You all had a grandfather, right? We all had a grandfather. And let us say you are the middle generation and you have the next generation whom you most probably hire all the time. So how do we see our life, our expectations in that time, in today's time, and the time of future? So this is my view. How do we look at the generation and how do we conduct and deal with them? Our grandfathers were fulfilling the basic needs. Roti, kapda, makan. If you go back and see, they were doing just that. So they were very loyal to their entrepreneurs. Puri jindagi wahi nikal diya. The whole life they lived almost at one or two enterprises. If you see, we will hear 40 years से मैं यहीं पे ही हूँ, फिर अपने बेटे को भी वहीं लगा दिया. 2 generations are working there. So they were just fulfilling the basic needs. We got freedom in 1947. Our grandfathers were also born around that time, and they were just building the basic needs. बच्चे को थॉट ही था खुद के लिए मकान हो जाए, कपड़े हो जाए, और नई जनरेशन को एक एजुकेशन मिल जाए. That's how you all are. We all are. So when we came into the lifeline, our basic needs were taken care. रोटी कपड़ा मकान था. We needed a quality of life. Quality of life means we would like to earn more. घर के अंदर कूलर होना चाहिए, एसी होना चाहिए, टीवी होना चाहिए, कार होनी चाहिए, मोटरसाइकिल होनी चाहिए. All that stuff started building up. I remember when we were in Kharthal, my entire bringing up is in a small village called Kharthal. We had the first TV at our home in the entire village. Imagine, and it is not very old. I am not having my grandfather age right now. My grandfather is 80 plus, and you can imagine that I am talking about around 40 years before. The TV is in the entire village is one. No 4-wheeler in the entire town. You are talking about that age. So the requirement of a job is also around that. People are not expecting too much. People are expecting that roti mil jaye, 800 rupees ki salary, 900 rupees ki salary, 2000 rupees ki salary. All that stuff is no more valid. It has now become the quality of life at our age. What is looking for the new generation? New generation is neither looking for basic needs, neither looking for the good quality of life. They are looking the best quality of life. What to expect out of the happier life? Happier life is about holidays, culture, eating out, going out for movies, holidays, 5 days a week. This is the environment. This is the need of an hour. 5 days, people were working 6 days a week. They never asked for a holiday. I don't remember any munim in Kharthal asking for a holiday. Nowhere. I remember people have a death at their family coming next day to office. This is the kind of commitment and the kind of culture which was there before. But is it true today? Can we conduct ourselves to deal with the manpower, with the past experience? I see all of the very old HR senior people. I think this is a refresh course for all of us here to look back what is not valid today. Unlearn what you have learned. Otherwise, it's going to be a baggage. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge issue to retain and attract people. To look for what he is looking for. He is neither looking for a new house, neither looking for a new car, neither looking for a good food. He is looking for the best quality of life. Can we deliver? Is the organization in position to deliver? Do we have a playground? Do we have a holiday? Do we celebrate Diwali, Holi? Do we celebrate birthdays? Do you allow me to go on a holiday with my wife on anniversary? All those things become a most critical part of today's need. This was not there before. In IT industry, I am in, we have not seen, so there is an article, there is a phrase given, the great resignation. This year, IT industry has seen more than 30% resignations. More than 30,000 employees Infosys lost itself. Imagine. Infosys is not a bad company. Infosys is a great company, good pay master. We know it's a great brand, global brand, but you still lose people. So what does it work here? One HR manager or one CEO would imagine, the person like me would imagine, what's not working? What's not working is the quotient of happiness. So if you lose a connect in a large team, people tend to move. पैसे तो उसको जितना आप दे रहे हैं उससे ज़्यादा definitely मिल ही जाएंगे. I can guarantee you in your organization 100%, not 99, 100% people can get another job at a higher salary. Period. Everybody. If they try, they out. 3 months, they will get another job. Question is how do they stay? Because we can't expect, and all of you also can get if you are an employee. An employee in your organization. Idea is why don't people move? How do we retain a core team? So in my own experience, I think this is a most challenging time in every industry, that the dimension of requirement is beyond money, beyond talent, beyond basic needs, about creating a culture of happiness, giving him more than what he always expected, what you expected in your life, what people are expecting. So some things about how do we conduct. First, HR managers used to manage, so we call it people managers. I think it's a flawed work. This has changed. It's completely flawed. If you try to manage, then you are trying to force upon your thought process. A good leader and a good HR manager is not supposed to manage. It's supposed to attract a good person, hire him, and get out of his way, and let him perform. That's it. There is nothing like management there. If you manage, try to monitor, try to access, try to see what he is up to, it is not getting a happy environment. Imagine your organization CEO is constantly have a camera on you, and imagine that he nag you 3 times a day. Would you like it? Imagine. Could you do the same thing with others? It is not a good idea. A good leader or a good boss, if you consider yourself a boss of the people, then attract a good person, hire him, and let him do and get out of his way. Get out of his way. Let him deliver what he is good for. It's very important. So I would like to share contrary view. Some of the people manager I come across are bullies, inquisitive about what's going on in his life. Force upon कि लंच पे आपने आधा घंटे से ज़्यादा क्यों टाइम लगाया है, 9:05 पे क्यों आए हो, शाम को 6-7 नहीं आया है, आप आपने रिपोर्ट नहीं भरी है. Without understanding the work culture, the work behavior, I can guarantee all of us sit together, you all are there, and it will be an interesting exercise if you get time after lunch or some time to think, do you deal in one situation in a similar way? Answer is no. We all will deal in one situation in a different way. So there is no fixed rule. So how do we guarantee that the way I am thinking is the right way to deal with another person who has a different attitude? And Forgive me to tell you that we are all obsolete for the new generation. We don't understand that basic need, what he is looking for. I am telling you, this new generation is looking for absolutely new ways of HR, new ways of dealing with him, and definitely non-intrusive, definitely non-forcing, definitely not policing, definitely in a very different way altogether. And the happiness comes as a most important task. Most important task is the happiness, where he is free to fly, he is free to leave, he is free to deliver. Just focus on only one thing with your automated process, with the most intelligent process that he delivers. If you cannot process that automated process and delivery mechanism, then the problem is not with the person, problem is with the processes of the company, which we are not able to deliver. There are people who create biases, and we see all the time the policies which get created in the company. So imagine, as a founder and the investor in the company and the CEO of the company, and most of you are heading the HR, you also get a salary, right? So how do we create that balance, that how many leaves should be there, how many hours should be there, how many, because you are a beneficiary of that policy. Ourselves is a policy. So it's a contradictory policy which should be very, very clear that it is not centric to the benefit of you. It should be the centric to the benefit of the organization. It's a very, very important aspect of taking the policies to the management. The moment we start creating policies which are centric to the organization, not benefiting the organization, centric to the employees only, these organizations slowly suffer. I have many examples, not many examples which are not corrected, but there are many examples where if you create a policy where organization is able to give benefits but not able to draw the result out of it. So let me give you two examples. In Western culture, there is a 5 days week. It's not an Indian culture, it's a Western culture we adopted here, 5 days a week, right? But 5 days, people work 9 hours a day. They give 48 hours. Do we do it here? I can guarantee you 100% employees do not deliver 98 hours, 48 hours. They will need a holiday, they will need to talk to their girlfriend and a boyfriend and a mother and a dog to be taken to the vet. Everything will be done in another 5 days also. And my sister is in US, my hundreds of friends are in US. They do not celebrate their birthdays and anniversaries and go to somewhere for 5 days. Do we do it in India? Answer is no, we don't do. So what we did, we adopted a 5 days, gave away the 1 day, and then 5 days are also like normal. So you are end up doing 40 hours. And this is the key to adopt today for the generation of the time. I think with this, I will just say that great people managers are the ditchers. Controversial? They walk with their team members up to a point, to guide them, to nurture them, to support them if they need, not forcefully. But beyond that, they ditch them. And I am using the word ditcher for a specific purpose because of negative connotation. So you remember that. You have to leave him alone at some point of time. He, and with a possibility that he can follow it back to you when he needs to. Not you are going back to him. Whenever he needs. So you know how to play a shot if you are a coach of Rahul Dravid, for example. To some extent you will tell him. Then otherwise he has to face the ball and hit it. And he should be able to come back if he is getting out on a particular ball and ask if I need some guidance. It's like that. Coach cannot be standing in front of in a stadium and say that ye wali ball aise marna, ye wali ball aise marna. It doesn't work. It will not work that way. So we have to ditch him, let people explore for themselves and even bruises themselves a little bit when confronted with reality. It's a very important aspect. These managers know when to hold and when to let go. So it's a good HR manager must let go. Basically the answer is this. And great people managers are not always comfortable to work with. So we should know we are difficult people to work with because we will implement policies. So the more we let go, the more we allow them to fly, the more we allow them to look at themselves, the more we create a culture that where they grow. We worry about their progress, we worry about their strength, we worry about their growth, the more happier environment we create. Thank you very much.